from WFSB, Connecticut's #1 local news. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
First at 6 o'clock, breaking news in the case of a teenager found dead after disappearing nearly 3 weeks ago. State police have arrested the teen's friend in the disappearance of 18-year-old Todd Allen. Good evening and thanks for joining us on this Friday night. I'm Dennis House.
And I'm Denise DeCenzo. Tonight, 19-year-old Kevin Wisemore is under arrest, telling police he stabbed Allen over a drug deal. We have team coverage of this breaking news.
Aaron Conley is poring over the arrest warrant and confession to police, and Kevin Hogan is live right now at Troop D in Danielson with reaction. Kevin?
Well, Dennis, state police working on several leads, developed some information and found the body this morning of Todd Allen. Now, he was found in a wooded area off Leho Road in Sterling. That's miles from where he lived, but near where suspect Kevin Wisemore lived. Leho Road in Sterling was shut down today as state police ramped up their investigation into the discovery of 18-year-old Todd Allen in a wooded area nearby. Detectives working on leads, which included evidence from the victim's cell phone and emails, determined that the Ellis Tech graduate was murdered.
I can tell you that Mr. Allen was found with what appeared to be multiple stab wounds.
This afternoon, police charged 19-year-old Kevin Wisemore, an acquaintance of the victim from high school, with murder and tampering with evidence after he told detectives he stabbed Todd over a drug deal. The warrant says when the two met up on a trail, Todd pulled a gun on him when he showed him the weed, saying he didn't have the money. Wisemore says he knocked it out of his hand and stabbed him. Todd Allen's mother, Christina Moses, went near the scene today where her son's body was found, but did not stop to talk to us. TJ, as he is known to his family, never returned home after taking off on his dirt bike to meet up with friends the day after Christmas. Hundreds of volunteers searched for weeks, not a sign of evidence. Today, the community is saddened by the turn of events. It was right near the scene where you guys were searching.
Not far, about a mile. Not far at all. All I know is that there's a scene up there and they found him.
When you see all this going on, it's kind of scary. First thing in the morning.
Now, tonight, the man who is charged, Kevin Wisemore, is being held here on $1 million bond with a court appearance in Danielson on Tuesday. Now, what we do know about the relationship between the two, they both attended and graduated from Ellis Tech nearby. Live the mobile newsroom in Danielson, Kevin Hogan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Kevin, thank you. Now, our team coverage continues with an in-depth look at what led to this case being cracked. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Aaron Conley poured over the 10-page arrest warrant. She's here now with what we're learning. Aaron?
Well, Dennis, when Wisemore spoke to police, he went into explicit detail about exactly how Allen died and what he did to cover it all up in the aftermath. And we want to warn that what we're about to share you may find disturbing. In the paperwork, Wisemore tells police that he met up with Allen in the woods for a drug deal, but he says things immediately went wrong. He claims Allen pointed a gun at him, saying he didn't have money to pay for the drugs. Here's how Wisemore describes what happened next. I had pulled a silver folding knife with an eagle out of my right pocket with a 3 to 4 inch single edge blade. I knifed TJ, stabbing him in the stomach once using my right hand and then stabbing him in the neck a few times. I stabbed him in the neck once and he kept on moving, so I did it a couple more times. TJ fell to the ground. He goes on to say he dragged Allen's body behind a rock pile so cars wouldn't see and took Allen's gun and threw it over the edge of a cliff. I grabbed TJ's black helmet and his black backpack and I brought them to a well. I burnt all of my clothing that I had been wearing. Now, Wisemore then tells police he actually went back to the scene of the crime to get rid of more evidence, this time Allen's dirt bike. With a friend, he loaded it into a car, brought it to a pond, and then dumped it in the water. So obviously some pretty disturbing details there. If you would like to see the entire 10-page document, it's on our website, WFSB.com. Aaron Connolly, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, good evening, everybody. Well, we have been following some colder temperatures. They've been kind of falling throughout the course of the day, but these are the temperatures at midnight last night. And believe it or not, we were still in the 50s all across Connecticut. It was 56 at midnight in Torrington. As we take a look at Futurecast, kind of time out the weekend for you and let you know about yet another warm-up. That's right, another warm-up for next week, all coming up in just a little bit.
All right, thank you, Melissa. Now, this story at 6.
I don't want somebody to get killed before something's going on.
Neighbors are pretty fed up after another episode of gun violence played out right in front of them. Overnight, West Hartford police heard a shot fired outside the Los Imperios restaurant on Farmington Avenue, not far from the center. It's been the scene of several incidents, and neighbors want to know what it will take to shut the place down. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Matthew Campbell is getting those answers, and it's live from the restaurant with what he found. Matthew?
Well, Denise, the town says it will not be easy, but they will try to crack down on what goes on inside these walls. Meanwhile, the restaurant says they cannot be responsible for what goes on here on the public streets.
A lot of chaos.
Rhodes Velasquez spent one night next door to the Los Imperios restaurant, and today she says she can't get out of here fast enough after she saw this overnight.
This was all blocked off. There were so many cop cars.
Police say a shot was fired after a fight outside the establishment. 2 men were arrested. Back in September, a car was riddled by more than 10 bullets. Since then, police have been sitting outside the restaurant at closing time, waiting for things just like this to happen.
The noise, the loud music from the establishment on the weekends, and then obviously the disruptions, the disputes, the arguments, the fights.
Los Imperios is already ensnared in a legal battle with West Hartford. They say they're a restaurant. The town says they operate like a nightclub. If I went there at midnight tonight, what would I be seeing?
You would be seeing something similar to the other venues within the West Hartford Center.
But in the last 2 years, it's been Los Imperios that's been investigated for serving underage patrons, offering bottle service, and not having working surveillance cameras. But because all of these violent incidents have happened on public places, the attorney for Los Imperios says you can't pin that on his client.
I don't think there was any connection with my client.
West Hartford is still investigating, but they have since created strict new ordinances to crack down on problems they've seen inside this place. Now violations could result in the music permit being pulled. The liquor license was suspended last year, but they got it back.
You know, I've never heard gunshots before, so it is a little disturbing.
Now, the attorney did say that there are metal detectors and security personnel inside that restaurant. The next hearing date with the town is on the 25th. That's the latest live here in West Hartford. Matthew Campbell, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Okay, Matthew, thank you. We also have new details on a crash in Newington in October that left a woman dead. Earlier today, police arrested this man here, Jake Ciccolone, on manslaughter and DUI charges stemming from a crash on Webster Road. Police said Ciccolone was driving high on marijuana when he swerved out of his lane and hit the woman's car head-on. Ciccolone will be facing a judge later this month.
We are very grateful to have met with somebody that is willing to take the case.
Fighting deportation, a local father and husband getting new help tonight, how they hope to keep him here in the United States.
Plus, making retirement affordable. New bills proposed this legislative session to give seniors living in our state a break.
You're watching Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6.
New at 6, getting people to stay in Connecticut. That can be a challenge given the fact that Connecticut is an expensive state to live in.
Yes, it is. And this year, lawmakers will debate a bill to make it more affordable for seniors. Channel 3 Eyewitness News reporter Susan Raff is here now with a look. Susan.
Denise, it sure is an expensive state, and seniors really have a tough time as it is. Many live on fixed incomes and money is tight. A tax break could help.
The golden years can be challenging years, especially financially. Housing is expensive in Connecticut and taxes are high. There's a bill now before state lawmakers that could help seniors. Representative Jason Rojas is proposing that seniors get a break on Social Security taxes. His bill would make Social Security payments exempt from the income tax. Here's an example. If someone was receiving $25,000 a year in Social Security payments, they would save about $1,250.
Giving them a tax break on their income allows them to free up some money to either pay off their property tax bill or just live their life in a higher quality way.
It's not a huge amount of money, but Representative Rojas says we need to do more to help seniors have a better quality of life and encourage them to stay in Connecticut. AARP says it has not seen the details, which are critical, they say, in this tough budget climate. But they say we are always interested in opportunities that make Connecticut more age-friendly and help people live independently. Both taxes and affordable community supports are necessary to that goal.
And when it comes to property taxes, some towns hold the line on them, but many town taxes go up, which forces some seniors out of their homes. The only downside of this bill seems to be, where will the money come from to make up the loss in income taxes? Susan Raff, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
Susan, thank you. 3 vacant seats in the legislature must still be filled. Special elections will be held on February 28th to fill 2 state Senate positions and 1 for the House of Representatives. Longtime Republican Senator Rob Kane of Watertown resigned to become the Republican state auditor, and Democrat Eric Coleman of Hartford resigned his seat to become a judge. With these senators leaving, there is still a tie in the state Senate, 17 Republicans and 17 Democrats, until there are special elections to fill the vacancies. And the 115th House seat was held by Stephen Dargan.
Governor Malloy, the chairman of the Democratic Governors Association, says he will attend next week's presidential inauguration, even though his first inclination, he says, was to decline the invitation. Malloy was an outspoken Trump critic during the campaign, describing him as having fascist tendencies. Trump took political shots at Malloy during a Connecticut rally, calling him a bad governor.
And it's a quiet and cold evening out there. We're seeing temperatures dropping, and tomorrow a few more clouds around, maybe even a flurry or two. We'll talk about that coming up right after.
Now, Channel 3 early warning weather with meteorologist Melissa Cole.
And hi there, everybody. Bruce has the evening off, and, well, the big weather story is the cold weather that has followed in behind that mild January warmth we had the past couple of days, even record-setting in some cases. Yesterday, Bridgeport set a new record, and today, actually, they tied the record of 56 degrees since it was still so warm right around midnight. Temperatures have been falling ever since, and we're getting ready for a cold night. January chill sticks around through the weekend. However, it's going to be short-lived because, believe it or not, warm air tries to return next week with temperatures in the 40s, maybe even 50s again. So we're going to bring in more rain chances, not snow chances. Lots of ski lovers wanting the snow, and just the next 7 days or so is not looking very cold, with the exception of this coming weekend. Pinpoint Dopplers scanning around, not picking up on anything out there tonight, so we are in store for a dry night. Here's some time-lapse video from our iCam in Waterbury overlooking the day, and you can see the flag got a good workout. We had pretty windy conditions out there at times. The winds gusted between about 25 and 35 miles an hour. They'll start to die down during the overnight hours, and for the most part, we have clear skies overhead with just kind of a few high clouds filtering in advance of a storm system that's going to pass close to Connecticut, but mainly to the south of us. Right now in Canaan, we've dropped down to 25 degrees after being in the 50s at midnight. It feels like 19 when you factor in that brisk wind. In Hartford, it's 32. Woodbridge, it's 31. And New London, it is 33 with a wind chill value of 27 degrees. Now, here's what I was talking about. We do have a little bit of high cloudiness moving on in, and the clouds will thicken a little bit tomorrow. Bigger storm system down to our south and west will eventually pass east and head just to the south of southern New England. So while I do think we'll see clouds, maybe a flurry or two, that's the biggest impact we're going to see. So here's Futurecast at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Sunshine and a few clouds. Clouds get a little thicker during the afternoon. A few speckles of blue make their way into southern Connecticut. So again, a flurry or two along the I-95 corridor, certainly possible, but the bulk of the precipitation stays just to the south of Connecticut. And then as we head towards the evening hours, skies clear out, and waking up on Sunday morning will be bright and sunny. Another cool day for Sunday, and we moderate a little bit for Monday. So overall, pretty nice for the next 3 days if you have any travel plans on this long holiday weekend. Lows tonight will drop down in the teens, inland Connecticut, low 20s along the shoreline. Highs tomorrow, upper 20s in the hills of Litchfield, and we'll call it to the low to mid 30s elsewhere. And here's your early warning 7-day forecast. 36 for Sunday, Monday up to 40. Then the rain moves in here later Tuesday into Wednesday. Along with the rain comes some milder temperatures. Highs up near 50 on Thursday and high of 46 on Friday.
Okay. Okay, Melissa, thank you. Now to a story we first brought you out of East Hartford. The family who was ready to say goodbye to their loved one as he was set to be deported back to the Dominican Republic has a new team of lawyers.
Channel 3's Courtney Zeller has been following this story, and she joins us now with some new developments tonight. Courtney?
Well, the hope is to keep Domingo where he has been more than half of his life, in the United States. We sat down with the family today about their new legal team and how they've spent these last few weeks together.
I had to buy each of them. It was $135 each.
Barrels are filled with clothes ready to be shipped by boat to the Dominican Republic, and luggage sits by the front door. Domingo Ferreira was set to be deported in early December after being in the U.S. legally for 30 years. After our story aired, U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal got involved, and Domingo was given an extra 30 days. When that time was up, he reported to ICE in Hartford 1 week ago. He was handed a letter that extended his time again for another 30 days.
I don't know where I will be at this point. You know, I'm just grateful to, still remain in the country that I love.
Domingo came here at 14 years old. He's married, has children, grandchildren, and is the family's sole caregiver. The family has been fighting to keep him here as his wife and daughter have been dealing with serious medical issues. 3 lawyers are now involved in the case, and they told us today they are reviewing materials as quickly as we can and develop a strategy in the near future for legal arguments and to file motions.
It feels good that, somebody out there is willing to help me.
12 years ago, Domingo admitted to stealing a purse and a wallet. He did prison time for the larceny charge. His record has been clean ever since. Under law, that charge is grounds for deportation.
We really don't know what's going to happen at this point in time. We don't know whether there's any hope or not.
I just want to continue my life here and continue to, provide for my family and help my wife and my daughter and my granddaughter to see her, grow up and see my other grandchild be born.
No word when those motions will be filed as of right now. He still is expected to be deported in early February. Now, there is a dinner and dance benefit set for Domingo. It's in 2 weeks. For that information, you could head to our website, WFSB.com. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Courtney Zeller, tonight. For the 4th year in a row, volunteers at the Waterbury Fire Department lined up this morning to hand out brand new winter coats to students in need. The fire department partnered with Operation Warm. That's a nonprofit organization. This year, the fire department gave out 100 coats to students from the Driggs School.
In our city, we have an awful lot of underprivileged kids who come to school, as Principal Theriault said, in sweatshirts, and this is an opportunity to help us get them clothed properly.
Firefighters worked closely with the school to select children who would most benefit from the new coats, and Chief Martin told us that many of those children have a low school attendance rate when it gets cold. He says the new coats will allow families to use funds to pay for other needs such as food and housing. Down by town tonight in Hartford, the Prudential Foundation has awarded the University of Hartford a grant of $75,000. The award will be used to continue supporting the Small Business Technical Assistance Training Program, which provides training, business advising, and technical assistance to small businesses.
In Burlington, trails have reopened at Sessions Woods Wildlife Management Area. The forestry operation to salvage non-native red pine has been completed. The red pines were dying due to insect infestations, and they posted a hazard to hikers using the trails nearby.
We can afford to buy all the supplies, so we can just put it together ourselves.
Ahead at 11, a fresh start for a family in need. How a mother who rescued her children from a violent situation gave her kids a room to call their own, all thanks to YouTube tutorials. We continue to follow some breaking news, major developments in the death of a teenager who disappeared right after Christmas. Today, police charged another teenager in the death of 18-year-old Todd Allen.
Channel 3's Aaron Connolly is digging deeper into the arrest warrant that charges 19-year-old Kevin Wisemore with killing his former high school classmate. Aaron?
Well, Denise and Dennis, this morning, police located Todd Allen's body in a wooded area in Sterling. And late this afternoon, they made an arrest and released a warrant that sheds light on what happened. We learned the 2 teens knew each other from Ellis Tech High School and graduated together last June. The warrant contains a written statement from Kevin Wisemore, who told police he had arranged to meet Allen and sell him marijuana. Wisemore told police when the 2 met, Allen didn't have any money and instead pulled out a gun. Wisemore says he pulled a knife and stabbed Allen until he was dead, then dragged TJ's body by his legs about 10 yards away behind the rock pile so that cars wouldn't see. Weissmore also told police he tossed the gun over the cliff, threw Allen's backpack down a well, then went back to the scene later with a friend and took Allen's dirt bike and dumped it in a nearby pond. Tonight, Weissmore remains in jail on a $1 million bond, and he'll be in court on Tuesday. And there is much more information coming out on this story. We'll continue to follow it for you throughout the evening. And join Dennis and I tonight for the very latest developments on Eyewitness News at 11. Aaron Connolly, Channel 3. Eyewitness News.
All right, thanks, Aaron. We are also following some breaking news out of Salem, where police are on the scene of a 3-car crash on Witter Road, and we're told there are some injuries there.
Police tell us before they arrived, a car drove through the crash site and hit a number of people who were standing outside their vehicles. Police say an adult and a child were taken by LifeStar to the hospital, and others may have been taken to hospitals by ambulances.
The number of people hurt and the seriousness of the injuries is not yet known.
All right, we'll take one more look at our early morning 7-day forecast and show you what's going on for the upcoming weekend. Cold tonight and kind of a chilly weekend. Some more clouds tomorrow afternoon. We'll clear out nicely Sunday. Monday looks like a beautiful day. Lots of people have the day off. It should be around 40. Then mid and even upper 40s to near 50 for a good chunk of next week. Believe it or not, the warmth comes back also with some rain Tuesday into Wednesday.
Good enough.
All right. Thank you, Melissa. And that'll do it for Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6. We thank you for sharing your time with us tonight.
We'll see you at 11. Good night, everybody.